Sup dingalings, I'm severely sunburnt and today I'm going to talk about all the DC comic book characters that have taken up the mantle of Batman. In the main DC universe, Batman is, spoiler alert, dead. Well, Bruce Wayne's dead. You can't kill an idea or some shit. Our resident police commissioner, Jim Gordon, has donned a robot bunny suit to fight crime as Gotham's not-so-caped crusader, Batman. After that news, it got me thinking, who else has taken up the horns and brooding voice of the Bat when Bruce Wayne was absent from the comics? So I compiled a list of all the people who have become Batman in the main DC comic universe. First off, Bruce Wayne, you dummies. I don't need to go in depth on him. You saw his parents die, scared of bats, fights crime, super sleuth, badass, blah blah. I only bring him up because I have to. Also kind of fun, Thomas Wayne was kind of the first Batman, but that's Silver Age nonsense and I'm not gonna have any of that. The first and most notable Batman was Jean-Paul Valley, aka Azrael. You may be thinking to yourself, who the fuck's that? He's not a Robin. He wasn't nippled up in a Joel Schumacher movie. You're right. Jean-Paul Valley was a brainwashed weapon of the Sacred Order of Saint Dumas, a religious society, and a computer science graduate from Gotham City University. He was conditioned to become the next Azrael, whatever the fuck that is. With the help of Bruce Wayne, Valley worked to overcome the deep-seated brainwashing. During the Nightfall comic run where Batman had his back snapped by Bane, he created a new costume and went out to break the baddies. Literally. The mental conditioning went in full swing and he went bananas. He even let one villain die and almost strangled Tim Drake to death, Robin at the time. But the costume though is pretty cool with all the armor. Eventually Bruce Wayne heals up and hunts down Valley to reclaim the Batman title, which he does, and Valley goes out to redeem himself. And then we say bye-bye to Jean-Paul Valley's Batman. Next is the obvious choice for the next Batman, Dick Grayson, the first Robin. Fan favorite Robin, acrobat, boy, wonder, orphan, Dick Grayson was the longest running Robin in the comics. Following Jean-Paul Valley's run as a psycho Batman, Grayson takes up the mantle for a short time before Bruce Wayne fully becomes Batman again. During the events of Batman Battle for the Cowl, Dick fights to keep the title away from Jason Todd, who we will get to in a second. Following the confrontation with Jason Todd, Dick Grayson steps up and becomes the new Batman with a brand new Robin, Damian Wayne, Bruce's son. Then the New 52 happened and he went back to being Nightwing. Next on the list, Jason Todd, the second Robin, and a popular villain anti-hero, Red Hood. Jason Todd was not a very popular Robin. Actually, in the original comic run, he seemed like a carbon copy of Dick Grayson. His original origin story was more or less the same as Dick's, and readers at the time were not fans. He was eventually killed off thanks to the readers who voted on it, but then was resurrected many years later. He became far more interesting as the anti-Batman. He was almost identical to Bruce Wayne, except for he kills. Like a lot. Like it's gross. During the Battle for the Cowl, Jason Todd masquerades as Batman, but a super violent Batman. He even has his own demented Batcave where he tortures criminals. It's cool. Dick Grayson eventually stops him, and that's the end of Jason Todd's Batman career. Moving on to Tim Drake, the third Robin. Fun fact, he was named after Tim Burton, director of the first two Batman films. Anyway, Tim Drake as Batman was short-lived in the comics. During the Battle for the Cowl, again, Tim fashions a makeshift bat suit to try and stop Jason Todd, but fails. Miserably, like he almost dies. There's another story in an alternate future where Tim becomes a new Batman after Bruce Wayne dies, but he's extremely violent and eventually is stopped by a younger version of himself. His time travel. Ooh, I'm not gonna go into that, just read the comic. Next is Damian Wayne. Ooh, does Wayne sound familiar? Cause it's Bruce's last name, making Damian Bruce's son? I know I already said that earlier in the video, but suck it. Damian's mother is Talia al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul's daughter, and Damian was raised by the League of Shadows, making him a very formidable fighter. He even becomes the fourth and current Robin in the comics. The only time we see him as Batman is in an alternate future, and you guessed it, he is far more brutal than Bruce Wayne's Batman because he was hardened by sorry. He failed at saving Bruce's life when he was younger, so that's why he's all messed up, but he does have a cat named Alfred, so that's kind of cute. Get it? Because the butler. Lastly, Jesus, I thought we'd never reach it here. Terry McGinnis, the baby boy from Batman Beyond. You guys love that show, right? Well, forget it, you dummies. I'm just kidding, I love that show too. However, ignore it for a second because in the comics, it's Damian Wayne who mentors Terry in the future, not Bruce. Terry takes up the mantle of the Dark Knight a few decades after he's rescued by Damian, and that's how Terry weaseled his way into the main DC universe. But again, that's before the New 52. So now it's just a clusterfuck. Ta-da, the end. Fuck, okay, Batman Zur-En-Arrh. I forgot that one. I'll brush over it because I don't like it, but technically it happened. Back in the early comics, there was this alien that came to Earth and it was like a clone of Batman in this weird multicolored Batman costume. That got retconned, but the idea was brought back later in the comics and it's worth mentioning. Bruce Wayne decided to implement this subconscious backup in case his personality was under attack. So if Bruce's personality went away, his brain would turn on this backup that called itself Zur-En-Arrh. So there was this other Batman kinda, but it's Bruce's body. Fuck it, I mentioned it, leave me alone. All right, those are all the Batman in the main DC universe. What'd you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. I want to talk about all the alternate universe versions of Batman in a future episode. Let me know if you guys want to hear it or any other topic you want me to talk about. Please like this video, comment down below, and share it. My name is Sam Basher, and I'll see you next time. Shit, I tried to wink.
The gang warfare stuff on this show, for me, was as boring as the politics and trade stuff in Star Wars Episode 1.
Yeah.
In this film, we get to check out two of the newest additions to the MCU, Pietro and Wanda Maximoff, aka Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, respectively.